All right, so let's talk overall race review from Dallas 70.3. So I think that this, barring the weather, could be a phenomenal 70.3. We didn't get to swim, but the swim looked fine. It was in a lake, in a cove. It looked calm, like it looked great, and it was going to be wetsuit. And so I think this is a very friendly race, basically. So I think the swim would have been great. I think the course design was great in terms of you're not doing multiple laps. The road conditions were fine. They need to do some better things with, the congestion and the road traffic and protecting you from cars or whatnot. But just in terms of the bike experience, I think that was fine. The run experience I thought was great. I thought the 4 mile loops worked well. And so overall, I think if they could just work out some of the kinks, this could be a really great race that I think is very popular and very promising, and it's a great area of town. And so I think overall I give pretty high marks to the race, even though the swim was canceled here. I will say though, this is now my second inaugural race. So I went to the El Salvador race a few weeks back, which was the first time they were ever doing that. This was the first time ever in Dallas. I think what I've come to discover is that these inaugural races are going to have really tough or really strange logistics. So for example, I mentioned this in one of my earlier videos. In Dallas here this morning, there literally were no porta potties for the athletes when you were in the transition area. You had to walk out of transition and go to these porta potties next to it, but they had it zoned in such a way that you had to walk the furthest way possible out of transition to loop all the way around to go to these porta potties. It was like a half-mile walk almost. It was like a quarter-mile walk. I mean, so some of these entrance and exit points and some of the logistics around that didn't make a lot of sense and need to be improved. But these are things that are easily fixable and easily improvable. And so, same with the athlete registration, it felt like I was walking through a Costco maze where they wanted you to start at somewhere and then wanted you to get out at somewhere. It was totally inefficient in terms of how they had the layout set up and the way they directed people to various places. But all these things are easily fixable. What's not fixable is if you have a bad course or a bad setup. And they don't have that. They have almost a guaranteed wetsuit swim in a really nice venue, a bike course that's, not multiple laps, not boring, on decent roads. And they've got a fantastic run. And so I think this is a race that if they could solve these minor inconveniences and these logistics issues, I think this one's going to be super popular. It's going to sell out every year. It's a great venue. It's a great area of town. So overall, I think a lot of positive things from this race. Now I'm turning to the full Houston Ironman that's coming up in 30 days. So I'm going to put out a video on what's coming next for that. See you in a bit.